This video describes the setup that is required for modems or routers when using Sysgem Access Gateway over the Internet. The video has been produced with the managed service provider in mind, but it is relevant for any environment when connecting the Sysgem Access Gateway to the Internet.
Information destined for the access gateway that is arriving at a modem from the Internet is tagged with a port number so that it can be forwarded to the correct computer. The default port number used by the access gateway is 7255, and this information needs to be set up in the port forwarding table held in the modem, together with a reference to the computer on which the access gateway has been installed.
The access gateway software running on that particular computer listens on port 7255 for any messages being sent to it. But please note that in the unlikely event that the port number conflicts with one already being used by another application, then the access gateway port number can be reassigned.
For your understanding, setting port forwarding for a self-hosted web server is exactly analogous to what is required for the access gateway. If a web server is also being used on this network, then the port forwarding table has probably already been set up to have the web software port number, i.e. port 80, defined together with the identity of the web server computer. This could be used as an example for guidance in setting up port forwarding for the access gateway.
We will use a web browser user interface on a computer on the inside of the network to access the modem and to set up the port forwarding table. For this, we need to know the password for the modem's administrator account. It is often written on the modem itself, for example, as that's supplied by the internet provider. And we also need to know the IP address of the modem as it is viewed from the internal network.
So, to determine the IP address of the modem, we use ipconfig on any computer in the LAN that communicates directly with the modem. To do this, we start a command window from the Windows Start menu and run ipconfig. ipconfig displays information about the local area connection. In particular, it shows the IP address of the default gateway, i.e. the modem IP address. In this example, we can see that the modem has an IP address of 192.168.1.254.
Next, we enter the modem IP address in the URL field of a web browser, and we should see the welcome screen and basic information being displayed by the modem.
We need to update the port forwarding table in the modem. The user interface for each brand of modem is usually different. But in this example, we can find the table under the Advanced Settings, Firewall, Port Forwarding option. We select Advanced Settings and log into the admin account on the modem.
If we check the list of applications that have already been registered in the port forwarding table on this modem, we can see that Sysgem Access Gateway has not yet been included, so we need to add it. We click Manage Games and Applications and add the application name Sysgem Access Gateway. We define the port number using the default provided with the access gateway, i.e. port 7255. We click Add and Apply to register port 7255 with the application.
Next, we select the application in the port forwarding table and select the computer on which the access gateway software has been installed. We click Add and Apply to complete the setup.
The modem now knows that messages tagged with the port number 7255 are to be sent to the Access Gateway application running on server Dell T1700.
Finally, we log out of the modem admin account by closing the browser window. Everything that is needed in the port forwarding table for the Access Gateway application is now complete.
Messages now arriving at the modem tagged with the port number 7255 are directed by reference to the port forwarding table to the computer Dell T1700. In this example, we were able to select the computer by reference to its name, but this is not always the case. With some brands of modem or router, you may need to reference the computer by some other means, such as the MAC address of its Ethernet card. MAC addresses of Ethernet cards can be determined using the Windows command ipconfig/all. The MAC address is shown as the physical address on the Ethernet adapter of the local area network.
With some brands of modem or router, you may need to reference the computer using its IP address. In a local area network, IP addresses are generally allocated by a DHCP server, which will probably be built into the modem device, but sometimes the DHCP server is run on a Windows server.
If you need to reference a computer by its IP address in the port forwarding table, then it needs to be a fixed IP address for that computer. There are different ways to make an IP address fixed, e.g. by using the DHCP server. But in this video, we will fix the IP address in Windows, starting with the Windows control panel. Here we have opened the IPv4 properties page in the local area network connection configuration using the Windows control panel. The highlighted option is used to define a fixed IP address for this computer. Note that if you specify a fixed IP address, you should avoid allocating one that could be duplicated. So it should be one that is not already assigned and one that is outside the range of addresses automatically assigned by the DHCP server.
Here are some other examples of the user interface from various brands of modem.